Hello and welcome back to another lecture on learning Autodesk Inventor. As we said in the last lecture, in this video we are going to learn how to place some parts, we are going to learn how to create some parts, and we're going to use a little bit the constraints options. Okay, just like I said in the last lecture, I have created some parts already. I have this L-shape object, and I also have a cylinder. The reason why I chose a cylinder is because I want to show you the options of the join option and the constraint option in the assembly mode. Alright, let's go and first add these two objects here. So let's go and click place here. Just click one time. And then you choose your part here. So I have mine here. This is the L shape. Click open and now you have this right here. So if you hold the shift key and the middle button of your mouse, you can pan like this. And if you right click here, you have this option here, place grounded at the origin. But before you do that, you can also rotate your object. So as you can see, these three directions, the Z, Y, and the X direction, you can rotate it. Let's say I want to rotate it for 90 degrees in the Y axis. Okay, let's do it once again. As you can see now, I rotated it 180 degrees. Let's rotate it one more time, and here I have my object. Let's go and place grounded at origin. Now I placed my object one time. If I want to add even more, you just click, then click again, as many times as you want. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to undo it. Okay, now I have my part here. So this is grounded at the origin because we select, as you can see, this pin right here. This means that it is grounded and you cannot move it. You cannot move it. To do that, you just click the object, right click, and go uncheck the grounded option here. And now you can move it freely around. But we are just gonna make it grounded here. And let's go check grounded. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to add another object. We are going to add the cylinder, and let's go and click place and search for the cylinder. Okay, this is the cylinder, and as you can see, I want it is in the horizontal position. I want to rotate it. So I want to be it vertical. I'm going to rotate it one time about the X. Okay, let's just do it 3 times. And now just click OK, or you just click one time here. And then click OK. Now, I can move this, but I cannot move this. So that is really important to distinguish, because when you constrain two parts, this part, the part that you don't want to move might move to the next one. So it's very important to distinguish which one you want to be grounded and which not. Okay, so let's start in using our constraints and our join option. We are going to first continue with the constraint option, and then we're going to jump to the join option, because the constraint is a little bit more simple, but that doesn't mean it's more useful. These both are useful in some cases. And we have here assembly. We're gonna talk about these later on. We're first gonna focus on the assembly option. Now we have here some types of assembly. We have here a mate. We have the degree option, tangent, circular, and the mirror option. Okay. Now we're going to use first this one here. And now, here we have two options here. You can see that if we choose this one, these two, if I choose, for example, this surface and this surface, they're gonna be in front of each one. But if I chose this option here, they are gonna be some, let's say they are gonna be parallel. So let's use first this, then the other one. Okay, I'm gonna select this surface here, and then this surface, because I want the cylinder to be on this side here. And you just click OK. Now it is constrained with the circle. Of course you can move it around, but you can only move it now in two directions. You cannot move it up and down. Just in two directions. And let's see the other two directions. And like this. Okay, so let's go back and we go to the model bar, and we're gonna delete this mate, or we're gonna edit it. We're not gonna delete it, but just edit. Now I'm gonna select these and hit OK. Now as you can see, these two surfaces are parallel. Let's just take a look from this angle here. Okay, so these are parallel. In the last case, these were in front of each one, now they are parallel. So you have to distinguish these kind of constraints. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one more time. I'm just gonna delete it, and now I'm gonna move it freely. Okay, so let's actually start and make some assembly. We're gonna constrain this. We're gonna use this type here. I'm going to select the bottom and this. Now hit apply, but I want to do one more constraint. I want to be this circle tangent to this surface. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna select this and then this. Now it is tangent to the surface. And now it has only 1 degree of freedom because it cannot move up and down, and it can only move in one direction. Only in this direction, not anymore in this direction here. So let's just see. Okay. Now what can we do? Something else here. We can add another constraint. Just go and hit constraint. We are going to use again this, and then I'm going to select this and this, but in the other option here. And if I hit OK, now we have no degrees of freedom because we have one constraint which makes it constrained to this surface here. The other one makes it constrained to this surface, and the other one makes it constrained to the surface. So now it has no degrees of freedom and we cannot rotate it or move it around. Okay, now I'm going to delete again these. And let's say I want to add another part, but I didn't create it. So I can go and create a part in the assembly mode. So let's just hit here and create. You have to give it a name. Let's call it a simple shape. Okay. Of course, use the same path which you have your project saved, and then you choose your template. You can either choose a assembly or a part. We are first going to use the part option and hit OK. Now you choose your plane in which you want to start creating your part. Let's choose this side here. And now, as you can see, we are in the 3D mode, and let's go and start a sketch. we can choose this side. We can choose these planes. I'm just gonna start somewhere else here, the XY plane. And I want to create another simple shape. I want to make a rectangle. Let's start a rectangle here. I'm gonna make it a little bigger here. Okay, finish the sketch. Now you can go and create a model. Let's give it we're gonna make it 30 millimeters. Hit check, and then you just click return. Now we have created another part, but inside the assembly mode. Now you can see this is a simple shape, and this is of course saved in the directory of your project. Now I have these three parts. This is grounded, and now I want to make an assembly of these three. Okay, let's go and use the constraint option. I want this side to be aligned with this side here. Let's view it from this side. Okay, but I want these to be parallel, so just select this, and now they are parallel. If you click apply, you can add another side. I want this side to be with this side as well. You can choose the direction. No, in this case we cannot, because we have already added a constraint, and this won't work. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this as well. Okay. Now I'm going to go and make another constraint, this and this. But I want them to be parallel. Hit OK, and now you can see that we can move it only in two directions, because we cannot move it horizontally. Alright. Let's see, I want to see what constraint I have. Let's go just here, click show, and select your object here. And now you can see that you have only one constraint here, and it tells you the specifications of your constraint here. If you click here, it will also show your constraint of this part here. And if you click here, oops, sorry. Oh, actually you cannot do that because it has no constraint. And just click here, hide all, and you won't see them anymore. Okay, now I want to continue with the constraints. I want to make this and this in the other direction. Hit apply, and I want this and this side to be constrained like this. Hit OK, and now your body is constrained, and it cannot move because we have blocked all the degrees of freedom. There's 0 degrees of freedom now. Let's add the cylinder here. We go and choose the surface here and the surface. Click apply. Now we make our next constraint. We choose this tangent, and let's choose either this or this. Once again, hit apply. Now we are left only with 1 degree of freedom. We can move it in this direction, but if you want to block it, we can make it aligned with this side or with the other side. Let's go and make another constraint. Hit this tangent option here. This is mostly used when you have to do with circles and cylinders and so on. And select this, and I want to make a constraint with this side. Of course you cannot choose this side because you have already created 2 constraints, and it will just crash the program. Okay, let's choose this side here, but let's switch the directions. Okay, hit apply and exit it. Now it is also attached to it, and it has no degrees of freedom, so it is a per very weird object, but now you actually have created a simple assembly. So we could we can also use the other options here, the joint options. These are more let's say more automatic. As you can see, you have here an automatic option, you have a rigid option, rotational slider, but with these three objects we don't know how to use them because you won't see the effects of it. So I'm gonna use them in another lecture. And I want to show you one more thing, that we can actually make some offsets. So what I mean by that is, just let me show you here. Let's say I want to have an offset of this. Just a second. Go and edit. I want to have an offset, so let's make it 10. Okay, now you see they will be constrained, but we will have just a offset. So like this. Let's hit OK. They are still they are still constrained, but they only have some offsets. I can do the same thing with this one. So let's go and click this button here, and I want to edit these two. No, I want to edit this constraint here. So once again, what I did was just click the show option here and choose my object. I want to make an offset with this cylinder and this side here. So I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna see which is the one for this side. So it is this one, and I'm gonna go and edit that. So let's make another offset here. I'm gonna make another 1 millimeter. Okay. Now I want to hide the constraints, and now they are still attached. They are still constrained to each one, but they have now only some offsets. Okay. So that's it about the offset option. I'm gonna go and delete them because I don't want to see them like that. Let's make it 0, and now they're back again here. Okay, I'm gonna share with you these models and this sketch. In the next lecture I'm actually gonna show you how to do that, because that's also very important. So if you want to share a assembly with your friends, you have to learn how to save it and how to, let's say, how to pack it, because you cannot just share only the assembly file, because then the other parts won't go with it. So you have to learn how to save the assembly file, how to make a zip file of it, and so on. But I'm gonna show that in the next lecture. So let's go and hit file, and we're gonna save this, and I will call it first assembly and hit save. Okay, now it is saved. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next lecture. Goodbye.